Hi, this is Noah Fant. You're listening to the Fantasy Football Counselor.
Welcome to the show, everybody. Joseph Robert, the Fantasy Football Counselor. In this video, we're talking about 5 rookie fantasy breakouts for 2020. Excited to dive in this list here for you. I want to make you aware the running backs and the wide receivers I'm going to mention here. I'm leaving quarterbacks out, just talking running back and wide receivers with these 5 fantasy breakouts here. I'm leaving out some of the main obvious names, guys like Jonathan Taylor and guys like Clyde Edwards-Helaire. I wouldn't even say they're obvious, but they're guys that are on everybody's radar and being drafted very early in fantasy drafts. So I'm digging a little bit deeper here and giving you 5 fantasy breakouts that are rookies, okay? Excited to dive in this episode because I think a lot of people need to be aware of this. I think a lot of people need to dig deeper in their drafts because sometimes the obvious person, for example, a guy like Clyde Edwards-Helaire may not break out, right? You got to take a look at other guys potentially as well. So I've got 5 names here I'm excited about that I'm excited to dive into. Before I get into that, guys, make sure you guys get the 16-round draft solution at thefantasyfootballcounselor.com. I've also linked it here below on the YouTube video, pinned comment as well. This is the game changer, right? A lot of people will say, well, Joe, I've tried the draft kits before. They're okay. This is the game changer. So I want to make you guys aware, and I recommend players in each round, sleepers, breakouts, and I omit all those bad players. And of course, guys, you got it when you're doing this, you got to look at it and say, hey, I got to use my own mind, my own research, but now I've got access to a guy that lives and breathes fantasy football. So this is really, really going to help you, the 16-round draft solution, guys. I've linked it here below, and head on over to thefantasyfootballcounselor.com. This is the game changer, first ever and only video training. Secondly, we're launching a network, guys. This is huge. I got sick and tired of the mainstream consensus, the mainstream consensus, the cookie cutter information, the lack of personalities, and the lack of realism with a lot of the mainstream industry analysts. So I decided, hey, I'm going to create my own network with guys that are really passionate, that are real, that are raw, that are organic. So I've got every single YouTuber for every NFL team. We're coming together on Fan to Fan Network. I've linked the Twitch channel below as well. It's part of the pinned comment below. Or head on over to Twitch, guys. Create an account. Follow FTFN. Guys, this is the game changer. We are launching in August with the channel, but also the website goes live in July. So Fan to Fan Network, it's the game changer. Make sure you guys head on over and check it out on socials. Head on over to the Instagram page, Fan to Fan Network. And again, I've linked it below, okay? All right, so let's get to these 5 rookie fantasy breakouts. First guy I want to talk about here is Cam Akers. Listen, Cam Akers' average ADP in regards to, because I do a lot of mock drafts, okay? In regards to his ADP, he's coming off in around the 5th round. Now, a lot of people in your league may not know who he is and may be sleeping on him, okay? But Cam Akers is in a prime position to succeed with the Rams. Now, the Rams may get knocked a little bit on their O-line, but the fact of the matter is he is in a prime position to succeed. Listen, Darrell Henderson did nothing last year. Absolutely nothing. I'm going to pull up his stats. I think he had 39 attempts. So I'm looking at it right now. So Todd Gurley had 223 attempts. Malcolm Brown, 69 attempts. Darrell Henderson, 39. Now, I talked to my Rams, the guy that's helping with the Fan to Fan. He's going to be looking after the Rams. I spoke with him and I'm like, hey man, what do you think of this committee? And he's like, man, listen, it all comes down to pass protection. You got to look at Cam Akers. If he can do some good pass protection and protect the quarterback, we're in a good situation. So it's going to come down to that. It's going to come down to training. It's going to come down to the hot hand. Malcolm Brown, years to wow us, we're not wow, but he's got really good pass protection, right? So he's a safe player that the Rams may lean on if they need that, that player if Cam Akers doesn't emerge. But listen, he's set for a prime season, and here's what's really attractive with him completely. Now, he played behind the O-line of Florida State, which really kind of sucked. 5'10", 215, really good size for a workhorse running back. He had 231 attempts, over 1,000 yards, 1,144 yards on the ground, 14 touchdowns. And he still managed to get 30 receptions and 4 receiving touchdowns. Now, what I like about him, aside from him being a workhorse in college his last year, is, again, he put those numbers up behind a totally mediocre O-line. And not only that, Rams, that was their first pick. The Rams picked him first in the 2nd round. Their first pick was in the 2nd round in the NFL draft, and they went with Cam Akers. That shows a lot of faith, and that shows the need and the void there. And they also got rid of Todd Gurley confidently. So when I look at the situation, I'm like, they got rid of Todd Gurley pretty confidently. They must have had their eye on Cam Akers because he was a top 5 running back prospect heading into the NFL season here as a draft prospect. So I look at Cam Akers, I'm like, this is really exciting. Malcolm Brown used to wow me. I'm not wowed. Darrell Henderson, they didn't really believe in him last year. Only 39 attempts, 147 yards, 3.8 yards per carry. Just wasn't utilized. If they did believe in Darrell Henderson, they would have even acquired Cam Akers. Like, listen, we got Darrell Henderson. We believe in him. We're not. No, it wasn't like that. So their first pick guys, the GMs, the owners, they sat down and said, this guy looks good. We're going to utilize him. There's a void now of 223 attempts from Todd Gurley last season. Now, Todd Gurley was improvised, not utilized properly, right? He was preserved is the word I'm trying to find here. So he didn't really get going to mid to late season. That's why he only had 223 attempts. So I'm expecting more than 250 attempts at least to be available for a workhorse running back if Cam Akers runs away with the job, and I think he could. A potential breakout that you can get in the 5th round as part of a robust RB strategy. So let's say you go Saquon, let's say you go Jacobs, let's say you go Fournette, then you go like Cam Akers, okay? I mean, as your 4th running back and a part of a robust RB strategy, that is phenomenal. You've got the ceiling and you're not risking too much. You're already locked in with your 3 running backs prior to him. He's your 4th running back. You're going to feel really good, okay? Cam Akers, the first potential breakout in regards to a rookie player for fantasy. Second player here I'm looking at, I won't dive into too much detail about him. With wide receivers, always a bit of a crapshoot, always a bit of a risk. Now, I've got 3 wide receivers here on the list. I'm going to list them off here, not in any order, but not in an order of priority. The guy I like here is Justin Jefferson. Now, I'll tell you why I like Justin Jefferson, okay? He is in a position to succeed. Okay, that's the next guy I really want to talk about. He's in a prime position to succeed. Why is that? Well, I'll tell you, Stephon Diggs is no longer on the Vikings anymore. He's in a prime position to succeed. Mind you, he's with LSU, got the ball from Joe Burrow. Is Cousins going to be a major upgrade? It's the NFL. It's a different speed, different pace. They've got Thielen there. That's probably going to draw the double coverage. Now, if you look at Diggs, last year had an off year. He was demanding the ball, didn't get it. Only 94 targets, 63 receptions, 6 touchdowns. Now, he's going to be a plug and play here. They had other guys there that just didn't really do it. Laquan Treadwell for years, he's not going to be there anymore. Chad Beebe, these guys don't matter, okay? These guys are not relevant. What matters is that they drafted this guy with their first pick, 22nd overall in the first round. They believe in Justin Jefferson. This guy is the next guy on my list here, and I love him. I love him as a potential breakout, and he's a wide receiver, so I am a little concerned, but you get this guy for super value. You get him for cheap, probably after the 7th, 8th round, okay? You can get this guy. And again, you're going to basically get him as your wide receiver 2-3, probably more like a 3 on your team with some major, major upside, okay? The ceiling is there. Now, don't look at Diggs last year as kind of like a benchmark for kind of the expectations of the volume. Now, if you look at 2018 Diggs, right, which is Jefferson, he's supposedly going to go in and plug in for Diggs. Diggs had 150 targets for 102 receptions. I think the Vikings were down on the passing game a little bit last year. Cook ran the ball a lot. But I think this year they're going to throw more. They've got Jefferson. They're going to groom him. They're going to work him. Hopefully he becomes that breakout player that I like. Next guy on the list, no particular order, Chase Claypool. I love this guy. I love the upside, I love the ceiling, and I love, more than anything, the opportunity with this guy, okay? What's appealing with this guy is that he was picked up in the 2nd round with the first pick of the Steelers. So again, Steelers, big organization. They know how to pick wide receivers. They've had some really good wide receivers on their team. And you look at a guy, 6'4", 238, and you're like, oh my God, this is kind of exciting here. And again, Big Ben's there, right? Big Ben likes that big body receiver. And there really isn't another wide receiver too. They got Deontay Johnson, who I think could line up on the outside with Claypool. You got Juju in the slot. This could be really exciting. And if you guys remember, I may sound like a broken record, but I keep repeating this stat because it's very important. Big Ben actually led in passing attempts and passing yards in 2018 and made both Juju and Antonio Brown top 10 receivers. 168 targets to Antonio, 166 to Juju. There's a void there. Someone's got to catch the ball. Chase Claypool could be that guy, and you get him for literally free. Big fantasy football sleeper with a major breakout potential. And again, what's really appealing is his talent, the opportunity, and of course, he was the first pick of the Steelers. He was picked up very quickly by them in the 2nd round. So I'm excited. I'm really excited about the 6'4", 230 plus pound Chase Claypool. Very excited, potential breakout. Next guy here, another receiver I'm really excited about. And again, I don't get excited about wide receivers, but what really excites me is that these guys are being picked up very early by the teams. There's void in the opportunities there for these guys because of who the quarterback is, the volume and the attempts, and that void they're filling in for a potential receiver that's not there, right? Next guy is Michael Pittman. Guys, I love this guy. Picked up in the 2nd round with the first pick of the Colts again. Now, again, what's really appealing, oh, by the way, Jefferson, 1,540 yards, okay, in college, 18 touchdowns, 15 games. When you look at Claypool, over 1,000 yards, 66 receptions, 13 touchdowns. And we look at Pittman, 101 receptions, 1,274 yards, 11 touchdowns. So these guys can get it done, all over 1,000-yard receiving yard receivers. So this is really exciting, okay? And again, these guys are picked with the first pick for that team. So there's a void and opportunity if you look at who's throwing the ball, right? Not so excited about Jefferson, but you look at what he's done with Diggs back in 2018. He made Diggs a pretty good receiver, and Thielen, but then you look at, Big Ben with Chase Claypool, and now you're looking at Phillip Rivers with a nice O-line, and Pittman's a plug and play. I'm not really sold on Paris Campbell. Hilton, Pittman could be a great connection here. These guys lining up on the sides, and you got Phillip Rivers throwing the ball, who's got a chip on his shoulder. A lot of people saying he's washed up. Look for him to play angry this year, and Michael Pittman's going to be a beneficiary. And what I like, again, I'm not high on wide receivers, but I keep saying this, I love the value of these guys. You get them for free. Get Chase Claypool, Pittman, put them on your bench. One of these guys, potential breakout. Really exciting stuff. Absolutely love them, okay? Next guy here, let's go to a running back. Now, there's a couple running backs I like later that are free you can get that have potential breakout potential. McFarland for the Steelers. You got Moss for the Buffalo Bills. You got Joshua Kelly, and then now you got A.J. Dillon. The guy I'm going to talk about here is A.J. Dillon, why I like him, why the opportunity is there. Now, I don't like this guy as a guy you get early. I don't like this guy for a high ceiling, but I do like the potential breakout and probably later in dynasty leagues. I'll tell you why. The guy is a monster, right? In college, great numbers. Last year, 318 attempts at a Boston college. He's 1,685 rushing yards, 5.3 yards per carry, 14 touchdowns. No slouch catching, too. Caught 13 receptions for 195 yards. Not spectacular, but he can catch the ball if he needs to. Big boy, man. 6 foot, 240 pounds plus. I mean, I like the upside. Now, here's the thing. Aaron Jones due for a contract. Will they pay him? That's a big question. I doubt it. And a lot of these teams are bringing in guys like Jonathan Taylor, who I also like as a breakout, but he's more of an obvious guy, so I kept him out of here. Clyde Edwards-Helaire. They're bringing these guys because, hey, man, like, why pay an Aaron Jones when I can get a guy like A.J. Dillon who could actually outperform him potentially and not pay him? I can get him throughout his rookie kind of deal there, right? So Aaron Jones last year, 236 attempts, had a pinnacle year. Jamal Williams still there, 107 attempts for him. So we have over 340 plus attempts available to be had. Now, Aaron Jones, here's the thing with him, had a pinnacle year last year and 16 touchdowns, which means they get to that end zone and they plug it in, they pound it in. They're going to be using A.J. Dillon to pound the ball in a lot. That's my prediction here. Not only that, they drafted him in the second round with their second pick after they drafted quarterback Love there. So it's like, I'm looking at this, I'm thinking, okay, this guy could be the future running back workhorse for the Green Bay Packers. So they're not just going to keep him on the bench. They're going to integrate him and ride the hot hand if A.J. Dillon decides that he wants to take off. He could be a bench guy, but I don't see that. I see him getting worked. They invested way too high draft capital in him, and I just definitely see him being used near the goal line. Aaron Jones, again, 16 rushing touchdowns. I think they're going to use Dillon near the goal line. So look for Aaron Jones' volume to at least be cut in half when you're looking at the goal line, and a major significant decline to Aaron Jones this year. Not to mention Aaron Jones, out of the 3 seasons he's played, he's only finished 1 season, only playing 12 games in the first 2 seasons of his career, showing some signs of injuries in the past. Again, coming off a pinnacle year, looking for a decline and looking for A.J. Dillon to step up and probably be the primary franchise running back of the Green Bay Packers, okay? So there you have it. Cam Akers, Justin Jefferson, Chase Claypool, Michael Pittman, A.J. Dillon. 5 names for you guys you can get. You can call them rookie sleepers, whatever you want to call them. But listen, these guys are due for a breakout season. They're in a position to potentially break out as rookie fantasy players, and you can get them for super great fantasy value with a high ceiling. There you have it, guys. Make sure you guys get the 16-round draft session where I go over all these players, sleepers, breakouts, everything you need at thefantasyfootballcounselor.com, and follow the Twitch channel for Fan to Fan Network below, or go follow FTFN on Twitch or at Fan to Fan Network on Instagram. Guys, also, if you're not following me on social, I'm on TikTok. I'm everywhere at Fantasy Football Counselor. You're doing yourself a disservice. We're having a lot of fun on those channels. Make sure you guys are following everywhere. Thanks for being here, guys, and I'm out.